Hey there, I'm Chris, and today we're going to talk about adjustable clubs. I've spent the last few years using kettlebells, clubs, and steel mace to remake my 50-something-year-old body from stiff and old with chronic pain to young and strong and pain-free. And I'm trying to share how I did it and what I've learned along the way. So let's jump in and talk about adjustable clubs. It's challenging when you talk about clubs because price is a huge factor. And I started off with an 8X club. I spent about $320 for the fat handle adjustable club. I have more recently purchased a 10-pound Onyx club. I purchased a pair, but you can go online and purchase a 10-pound Onyx club for about $40. That's a huge difference in price. So right off the bat, let's acknowledge that adjustable clubs are more expensive. If you have price limitations, budget limitations, that may force your hand. But if this is something that you have the ability to reach a little bit on price, I'll tell you why I did the adjustable club, and I'll tell you why I'm glad that I did it. The 8X club that I bought, now there are other adjustable club manufacturers out there. Some of them look pretty cool, and I wouldn't mind trying more, but I can't recommend them because I don't own them. The 8X club, however, I do own, and it's one of the best purchases I've made. I was not sure what weight to start with. So having an adjustable club lets you kind of move back and forth between weights. I was debating between getting the 10-pound and the 15-pound club. I ended up buying the adjustable, and then I ended up having to really start my program at 7.5 pounds because my left arm was so weak and uncoordinated, and I wanted to keep my right and my left arms in balance. So being able to get the club right where you want it is a huge deal, and then it can grow with you. 8X now sells a fractional, like a 1.25 pound weight. So you can actually go from 7.5 to 8.75 to 10 to 11.25. You can do really, really small jumps, and you just can't do that with a fixed club. I ended up buying that 1.25 pound, and I am not sponsored by 8X. This is an unpaid, they don't even know I exist. I am a customer who has purchased multiple things, but I just appreciate the craftsmanship, and I think it's a good product. The second thing, so the first thing is getting the start weight right, being able to move down, and then have it grow with you. The second thing is those fractional weights. Moving from a 7.5 pound to a 10-pound club wasn't bad. Like by the time you get through a few cycles and 7.5 gets comfortable, my left arm got more coordinated, I was able to move to a 10-pound. That wasn't such a big deal. Normal progression. Moving from a 10-pound to a 15-pound is huge. And so the adjustable lets you go from 10 pounds to 12.5 pounds, or with that 1.25, you could actually have 3 steps in there: 11.25, 12.5, 13.75, before you get to 15. So the ability to grow slowly with the weight is a huge advantage in being successful with your program. That same jump is even bigger somehow from 15 to 20 pounds. 15 pounds is heavy, at least it was for me. And by the time I got through a few cycles and I was able to move up to 17.5 pounds, if I had tried to go to 20, I wouldn't have been able to do it. I would have had to back my weight back down. So the flexibility that adjustable club gives you is a big deal. The third thing that it does is it allows you to incorporate multiple exercises. So let's say you want to run a 2-handed club program, and you might use a 20-pound club or a 17.5-pound club with your 2-handed club program. And then you can back the weight back down and do 10 or 12.5 pounds or whatever your weight is for your single arm club program. You're able to do a light day and a heavy day. So maybe you want to do 2-handed clubs, you end up doing a 25-pound and a 17.5 pound as your heavy and your light. And maybe your single club, you're working a 15-pound and a 10-pound, and you're doing a lot of volume and maybe some more complexity with the lightweight, and you're doing some heavier swings on a shorter cycle with the heavyweight. It just gives you a lot more flexibility. So for me personally, I I bought that club. I ended up buying an 8X Mace. I ended up buying a second 8X club. And then I ended up buying a second 8X Mace. So I really appreciated the 8X and I'm all in. That being said, I also own a couple of Onnit Maces and a couple of Onnit clubs. So right, wrong, or indifferent, they multiply. Once you get down this path, you end up buying more of these things. Take a break here. If this has been helpful, if talking through this has been helpful in any way, please like and subscribe. Leave a comment if you have any questions or if you have a specific topic you want me to talk about. As I talk a little bit more about these clubs, there is one fairly newer club manufacturer out there called Hephaestus Clubs or Hephaestus Athletica, something like that. They actually have 2.5 pound increments on clubs. The downside that I found with their website was what was a little bit disappointing when I went shopping on their website is that they have these really cool rubber coated clubs, which they just look awesome, and they're a little bit safer for your floor if you ever bang them into something or bump them on your leg or something. I really like those rubber coated clubs, but those are only available in 5 pound increments. They're steel clubs, which are similar to the Onyx ones. They say they're higher quality, and maybe they are. They come in 2.5 pound increments, but they're really expensive. They're more than double the price of the Onyx club. So I couldn't bring myself to pull the trigger on that. So it is what it is. Budget is going to be a big driver for this. If you can afford the adjustable clubs, look at 8X, maybe look at some of the other ones. Maybe there's a less expensive one out there, but the ability to have a flexible weight, especially when you're starting out, can't be overstated. I think it's a great move. So if you can do it, go for it. If not, get whatever you can get and start swinging. Hope that was helpful. Go have a great day and go get better.